Hello, 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 hello. It is Thursday. It is Thursday and it's time for another stream. Of course, the last stream of this week. Let's make it a good one. Today what we're going to do is we will go over 3 topics. There are, of course, usually if we have enough, pieces posted in the Discord, we're going to do a feedback session, which is what we're going to do today. Of course, as you can see right there, we have 3 topics today, not just 2, personal feedback and the quiz sketch. As you can see here, we're going to start with the quiz sketch. Then we're going to go to the personal feedback session, the new pieces that have been submitted. We're going to look at them, we're going to give them feedback, and we're going to, hopefully, learn some lessons. No, yeah, we're just going to look at them and maybe give some tips and tricks of things that, that can be improved. And then there was one more thing, one request. I wanted to, for the future personal feedback sessions, what I wanted to do is I wanted to include not only pieces that have been submitted in the Discord, but also questions that have been posted in the question channel. This way we can, give other people that may not be comfortable posting their pieces, we can still, give them some sort of a value, some sort of help by just, answering the questions. And there was one question that has been posted, which was that in the most recent video that I posted, going over how I turn a 2D image into a 3D model with using the sculpting tools. The question was, there was a short sort of scene with an environment sculpt, basically. It was a like a door with a staircase, and then there were some rocks and wall and all that stuff. Yeah, that was the sculpt. And somebody asked if we could sort of look at it, and we could kind of I could explain how I made it, how I what I used, what techniques I used to create that sculpt. Which is going to be the 3rd topic today. So we're going to begin with the 30-minute quiz sketch, and then we're going to go to the personal feedback session, and then we're going to go to the sculpt workflow analysis. Yeah. If you only want to see one of these topics, there should be timestamped in the description. If not, then you might be too early. I usually, put them in 1 or 2 days later. So, yeah, it might be too early. But yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So yeah, I would say we can go straight to, oh yeah, timestamps in the description or also in the timeline. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Blender, and we're going to look at what we're going to sculpt today. You can see it right here. Look at him. He's or it is our quiz sketch reference today. The image is from Rudy Ciswanto, if I pronounce that correctly. It is from ArtStation. Let me just quickly pull up the image. Hold on. What's the name? Rudy Ciswanto. So, oh, hold on. There you go. Rudy Ciswanto. There you go. Do we see the image here? I don't see it. Oh, wait, I got Rudy sees. There it is. Yeah, that's where the image came from. So if you want to check that person out, you can do that. There it is. Yeah, I think what I want to do now in the future is I want to sort of credit the artist from the reference if I can find it. Yeah, this is the artist that made today's reference. Welcome back, creador sin importancia. Looks like a monster of doom. Yeah, it looks very similar to the one-eyed flying meatball from Doom. That's true. I don't even know from her, like, what sort of... I think it's for a game. What game is it for? Adventure of Forgotten Realm. Oh. Map Beholder. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's going to be our quick sketch reference today. Pretty close to a normal sphere, but we have these tentacles here, so it should be, you know, pretty interesting. Let's go back to Blender. What is that? In my times, Galileo sculpted with rocks and blind. Blind? Oh, okay. I'm not that skilled yet. Need to still, you know, train to be able to sculpt blind. Yeah, still a few years more than maybe at some point I'll be able to do it. Okay, so yeah, I would say we don't have that much more to prepare. We can go to the quick sketch so that we have more time for the feedback session. 20, yep, dynamic topology is on. The timer is ready. I'm gonna say start recording, start the timer, and we can begin. There you go. Okay, so as always, well, basic shapes, of course, but we already have the basic shapes. Basically, we're starting off, and we already have sort of the shape in itself. So we can go straight into the next phase, I guess, or you know, at least basic shapes. I guess you could say include the mouth too. So that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, I did some more research into for my video about explaining all the brushes in Blender, explaining them all. There are actually some very interesting ones that I'm gonna try or that I'm gonna use in the future. Who would have thought, you know, looking deeper into it, that I would find some that are actually useful. How are you? I'm pretty good. Hope you have been pretty good too. I you know, still, or the first week of my vacation is almost over, so you know, 1 week more, let's make it a good one again. But yeah, I've been pretty good. So on Saturday me and a friend gonna go to a movie theater, watch the new James Bond movie. He wanted to watch it. I don't really care what we watch as long as we go to the movie theater. So we're gonna watch James Bond. Yeah, there were some pretty interesting brushes that I'm probably gonna use not only for you know, overall sculpting, but especially for the new, or for the Reaper sculpt. I'm in the process of sculpting the Reaper's like wraith clothing, I guess you could say, and it's very flowy, very like, of course it's supposed to look like clothes, but also like a ghost, so it's very cloudy and flowy and all that stuff. So I try to kind of capture that in the sculpt, which, you know, is quite hard actually. So I think these new tools that I discovered can help me there very well. Earthquake? Oh no. How many earthquakes do you have in your proximity? How many are there? Is it like frequent? I never had one, so I can really relate at all. Nice wide open mouth. There you go. Big and round, very high. There you go. Okay. Let's go to the eye. Should we? We can probably do an eye hole. That should be good. There you go. Look at him. Perfect. You can already see his face in the small view right there. At some point when I did these, I think when I did a likeness sculpt, I discovered that this window down there is perfect for like a time lapse where you don't move, sort of where you only see the changes of the sculpt, because this is basically the perfect frame to do that. it only shows the scope, no cursor and all that stuff. And you can just take this frame and then speed it up by like 500% or so, and then you have the perfect time lapse with only showing what changes in the scope. Of course, it's a quite a small frame, but you know, at least it has its use. It's not useless. Oh no. Excuse me. Okay. Good thing is if we have these pretty simple scopes, is that we can have a we can spend more time on detailing. We'll see how that turns out, but you know, theoretically we have more time for the details. Let's see how much we can do here. Oh, we need to do something pretty quickly here, and that is enabling front faces only. Otherwise we would just destroy this eye socket here, which is not something I want to do. There you go. Okay, perfect. Kind of recovered that there. Nice and smooth. Okay. Was small, but you feel bad when it ends? Why do you feel bad when it ends? Do you mean the earthquake? Why do you feel bad when it ends? Do you like it? Good. I mean, I can imagine it. It's kind of, you know, scary, but you know, maybe at some point you get used to it so much that you you enjoy it. Maybe, I don't know. As I said, I have never experienced one. I wonder if you... no. Yeah, no, I think... Yeah, I guess the entire, like, floor, I guess, or earth is sort of rumbling, not just, like, the buildings. Wouldn't really make sense, you know? If you're standing on the same ground the buildings are standing on, you would probably also sort of shake. I was thinking of, like, oh, maybe you can only see it because you're in buildings and everything else shakes around you, but you don't really realize it, but I guess that doesn't make any sense. Okay, you need some more mass down here. Let's make him thick. Oh. There you go, give him a thick back. Thick behind, there you go. He needs to be a little bit malformed or misformed. There you go. Okay. Maybe his eye is too small. Hold on. We need to make the corners a little bit sharper here. Good thing is this is it's quite a symmetrical creature, so we can work a lot with symmetry here. Never say James Bond, but I heard it's a nice movie. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a, I guess, a normal action movie, but you know, sometimes normal action movies aren't bad. Sometimes they're enjoyable. And I don't really expect much from most movies, you know, I just expect to be entertained for like 90 minutes or so and then, you know, eat some popcorn. I don't really have big expectation like maybe others would say like, oh, you know, they try to sort of, you know, expect a good, like, I don't even know what a good movie would be. I just know that I either, you know, liked it or I didn't like it, and that's it. So I couldn't really tell you, well, you know, this movie was bad or this movie was great because of this and that. I only really, you know, can tell you if I enjoyed it or not. And then at some point I watch maybe like a movie review and then they say, oh, it's such a horrible movie. And then I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I see where that person's coming from. But I never really, you know, see that myself. Okay. You could feel your bones and organs in different spots. And all you want to do is lie on the floor. Sounds interesting. So it's like a country or like city-wide like, what is it called? A city-wide roller coaster ride but you're not on a roller coaster. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust the tongue later. I just wanted to have it here first. Okay. Like that. Okay, interesting. But why do you say then that it's oh, you feel bad when it ends because it's okay, now I get it. I thought you meant you feel bad because it ends because you, I don't know, you want you want more of it, but you mean that you actually feel bad. So you know, it's not meant in a good way. I thought you meant it in a good way. Now I get it. So I'm probably gonna start with symmetry extrusions, or symmetry, you know, snake hooks. So we can bring these tentacles in. We can probably then afterwards change them to make them more dynamic, I guess. Make them like asymmetrical. There you go. Oh, I need to put that to 7.5, I think. So that the, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe 0.6 is enough. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, they need to be thinner first. Eyes, basically. There you go. Nice and thin, and then at the end we have the eye itself. Oh no, I'm gonna have to put in way more eyes than per usual. Maybe I can just put in, I guess, normal black spheres. That should work too. It'll not look as good, but I mean, you know, it being a sphere with a huge eyeball, maybe just using a black sphere as eyes might not be the best way, but I think that's the best we can do here for this quick sketch. There you go. Let's add another one. Nope, why do I always select the wrong brush? So this one seems to be good, go back actually, so I'm gonna do that. More like this. Ooh. Like bunny ear, sort of, I guess. There you go. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. We might be able to push it further forward a little bit just to kind of compromise it. Just to kind of bring everything closer together. Otherwise, we can't really fit it well into the sort of 1x1 frame that we're gonna render it in. There you go. I don't think this one needs to have an eye. I think this one can just be like a tentacle, like a single tentacle right there. I think that'll be better. There you go. Okay. Let's add the next one. Let's see. Let's put one right here. Where there's none right now. And there you go. Next eye is almost ready. Let's make it rounder. Need some more volume. Okay. Yeah. So I was actually pretty surprised how many brushes there actually are. And like, I don't know, it's kind of, so I always thought like, well, they're pretty niche, they're pretty, you know, pretty useless usually, which they are. They have very, very limited use cases. But I think for the use cases that they are there, they're probably, you know, they're the best option. They're optimized for what they're supposed to do. which I think once you know all of them, I think you can work way faster than if you only know the you know, the normal sculpting tools, I guess you could say. So, you know, I always like getting sort of, you know, once I kind of know a certain topic to a degree, I like to go a little bit deeper just to kind of understand even more about it, because usually, you know, usually if there's some, like, if there's a thing, whether it's in a game or in like a program, and it feels kind of useless, like why does that even exist? Usually the case is that there's like a deeper meaning behind it, which you don't really understand just yet. And you just need to look more into it to understand it. And what I like to do is I like to first understand like the stuff that I, you know, can see is useful. And then I like to go a little bit deeper and understand the more complicated stuff. With stuff like the cloth simulation brush in Blender, which I still kind of think is weird, but it, you know, works quite well, I guess. Yeah, but you know, there are quite a few parameters, and you know, first understanding them with the Blender manual instead of just trying it out and then seeing, well, it doesn't really work really great. You know, it's a difference that I think can help a lot in understanding it and then actually applying the brush in the way that it's supposed to be applied. Yeah, we're doing viewer feedback today. We're doing another feedback session. And then afterwards we're going to do one more thing, which is the sculpt analysis. So we're going to look at an old sculpt, and then we're going to cover, or I'm going to explain how I made it, I guess you could say. The Reaper will have to wait till next week. And then next week what we're going to do is we're going to work on the shading and the materials for the figurine. Why, oh no. Do you want to post your own piece? You still have some time. You can you know, usually of course it's better if you post it before today, but of course if you you can still post it until the end, I guess, of the section. So we're done with all the others. If there's, you know, if somebody says, hey, I can give you mine in 2 hours, and then, you know, we're already done with it, basically, then of course that's different. But I don't, you know, I don't say, well, hey, you didn't post it before we started, so, you know, I'm not gonna cover it this time. You can still, you know, you still have some time. Yours will just be the last one then. Yeah, 30 minutes, of course. We're probably not even, maybe we're not even gonna be done with this in 30 minutes. We'll see. Probably though. There you go. Nice little eye right here. Let's do one more somewhere. Maybe down here. Maybe a small one. Maybe it goes back and then it goes forward. Woo! Oh, that's quite spread out, but that's okay. Going to put some Eurobeat to go faster. There you go. I mean, don't endanger yourself just to post your piece for the feedback session. It's not worth it. Don't try. Okay, there you go. So that's the last eye. There's one thing that I want to try now that we have disabled symmetry. One thing that I want to do probably first is I want to change the tongue. Because the tongue looks kind of weird if it's just straight. It looks kind of like a unused game asset. In its neutral pose. So we're gonna adjust the tongue so it's more dynamic, so it looks like it's actually flying, and then, or, you know, flapping in the wind. And then we're gonna go to the to the tentacles, or the eyes, I guess, whatever you want to call them. Not the big one, but the small ones. Okay. Okay. Grab... Oh, hello. Hold on. I don't want to mess this up. There you go. Grab it. And pull it apart. To the side, I mean. Oh, we also need to add the teeth at some point. Oh, hold on. There you go. There you go. Okay, perfect. Smooth it, make it nice and round, and then we can go to the teeth probably. I want to put in the teeth first before we go to the tentacles, because, you know, the tentacles already exist. They might look weird if they're all in, you know, symmetrical, but at least they're there. We don't have any teeth, so it kind of looks like he's very old. Okay, let's add some teeth here. I want to probably bring in some lips. So we need to probably bring it back a little bit of volume here in the middle. Otherwise we can't really create good lips. I don't want to get too close to the eye. There you go. Okay. Go down here, do the same. Okay. Let's bring in teeth. Teeth should be pretty simple. We're just gonna... Oh, hold on. Let's give this a little bit more gum right here. There you go. So we can actually create a good origin for the teeth, I guess. Okay. Perfect. Grab the mask. Wait, the mask. We have 8 minutes. Perfect. Right there. Right there. Right here. I'm just going to fill this with some teeth. Yeah, especially for clothes, I think there are quite a few very, very useful brushes. Not just the cloth filter, but even other, like, there are even like hidden cloth filters in different brushes, which is kind of weird, you know? Why don't you just include all of that into one? But I guess it makes more sense if you include it in, like, if it has the function, you know, if that brush just has the same function but using a cloth simulation instead of the normal geometric deformation, I guess it makes sense to oh damn, to put it in the brush. But yeah, there, you know, you really have to either experiment or you look through the Blender manual to find them all. And yeah, that's why I put all this together, because not only I don't only want to know it, but probably others would benefit probably greatly from it as well. I always like to know what I'm working with, because then I can, you know, understand it better. And if you understand what you're doing, then you can not only ask questions, but you can also maybe solve your own problems more easily. You could see, well, why does this not work? Or, well, why does the brush not do what I want it to do? Maybe it's not really, you know, what the brush is made out for. Or you're looking to do something very specific. Maybe you're using the wrong brush. Or you don't even know what brush you should use. Yeah, I deleted, or I removed these masks down here just because they were... I couldn't really do both, because if I pull them down from up top, I can't really pull them up at the same time. So I just removed the one at the bottom. And now we're going to do them again. There you go. Invert. They're going to go through the tongue, but that's okay. Hopefully. There you go. Sometimes even you can't even really see what the difference between some of these brushes is. Sometimes just the sort of the programming behind it is different. And then, you know, what you can't really just experiment around and see what it does, you know? Or there's at least one function that doesn't even work for me, which I'm going to note in the video too. Like, hey, I wanted to try this and this is how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't work. You know, right now, I guess it's just a glitch, or, you know, it just doesn't work for me. Yeah, you know, but at least I can explain what it's supposed to do, which, you know, it's better than nothing. It's always annoying when you want to try something new and then there's an explanation, but it tells you something and then it doesn't work that way. So it's either, well, it's either the program has a glitch or you're not understanding it right, and then it's like, well, who can I trust here? I don't want to trust myself because, you know, I don't know anything about it, you know? And you can then also not trust the manual, because the manual, you know, says something, but it doesn't work that way, and then it's like, wait, what? Who am I to trust now? 5 minutes, perfect. Let's save it real quick. We're at quiz sketch day 249. So tomorrow's quiz sketch day 250. Soon we're at 365. Only 100 more. Quiz sketch day 249. Well, 56. No. Wait, what? No. 60. Wait. 90 somewhat. Hold on. Okay. Never mind. I'm not good at math, okay? Don't judge me. Okay. Let's, I wanted to try the elastic deform thingy. So one thing that I definitely want to figure out is if there's a different alternative now to this selection method. Because this was the best selection method that like my favorite selection method before this version. Just because it wouldn't jump over to a different part of the mesh. It would only stick, or it would only select the part of the like geometry that is connected to where you started the selection. Which is perfect because you can select arms, you could select, I don't know, ears, you could select teeth and all that stuff without selecting anything else, and now it just destroyed. It just jumps over to other geometry and it completely destroyed its purpose. Now it's just like a normal selection tool, which is absolutely not what, you know, what it was before. And then there's another one which is, I think, the like normal selection, which kind of works the way that the other one, or like this one, worked before, but it's super laggy, and maybe it shouldn't actually work that way. Maybe I understand it incorrectly, I don't know, but it's very annoying that it's gone now. Okay, elastic deform. Okay, so elastic deform sort of treats it more like an elastic model instead of just like a, I guess, individual geometry, which can maybe help in bringing this into a different shape. It looks, actually, the problem here is that we can't really, can we change the rotation? No, we can't. Can we? No. Okay. Go to brush settings in top of your screen. Auto masking, is that what you mean? Topology? Nope. Mesh boundary? Nope. Normal radius, what does that mean? Okay. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't work. Maybe I just don't get what you mean. Okay, this one looks kind of deformed now. Maybe the elastic tool isn't really the one that I was looking for here. Didn't really do what I wanted. Okay, there you go. Nice. I just want to change the shape a little bit. We're going to do the same one here on the other side. Let me see. So if I select the mask tool, there aren't really that many settings here. In the Blender manual, it literally just says it selects geometry, and then it's not affected by any brush. Mask. Words Shift A, expand mask by topology. Yeah, but that's not what it does. Shift A. See? Shift A does that. Expand mask by normals. And that is Shift Alt A. See? And then it just selects everything. And I don't really know why. I think what it's supposed to do, or what it means to do, is that it selects everything that has the same normal or a similar normal. No. So now it acts completely different. Nah. Okay. Well, maybe. Yeah, I need to check that out at some point. Your mesh is one object. Yeah, but that's the point. It's supposed to be one object. And then you can select, you know, individual limbs, for example, by using Shift A. If it's not one object, of course, you can just, you know, select whatever you want, because it's separated anyway. Oh, it's already over. Okay, hold on. I don't know how much we went over the timer. Not one object. Well, what do you mean? It's a single object. Or am I stupid? The limbs are connected to the main BB9DY. To the main body. Yeah. Let me just quickly look up what it's supposed to do. Maybe I'm understanding it wrong. Or maybe there's a change. There was a change. Well, it changed, but what did it change? Okay, there you go. Let's see. So, what is it called again? Mask. Expand mask by topology. So, Blender manual. Maybe it's in the manual actually. They should be disconnected. So that means if I go in here and I don't know, select this piece here. And I duplicate it. There you go. So I have another limb right there. And then I go into sculpting. And then I do it. Yeah, well then it works, but does it? Yeah, it does. Or it does it? Hold on. Yeah. Well, that works, but I still want to have it be part of the same mesh or part of the same geometry. That's the thing. That's how it worked before. Sculpting and painting. Hold on. Sculpting, editing. Brush, mask, brush, editing, display settings. Brush. Invert mask. Fill mask. What? Wait. How does it do that? No, I don't want facets. I just want the function to work how it did before. I want to select an arm and then I select woo, and then it doesn't go from here to my face all of a sudden. It's just supposed to select the arm. That's how it worked before, and somehow they changed it. Oh, okay, I guess. Clear mask. Yeah, you can invert, but this is fill. Menu, fill mask. Menu, mask, invert mask. Invert mask is for me if you draw a sphere or a circle and then you can fill it, but not but not invert it. It fills the mask with the value of 0. Yeah. Box mask. Okay. Mask filter. Smooth, sharpen mask. Grow, shrink, increase, decrease. Durations. Welcome back, Hustler. Hope you have enjoyed work. You're not the only one driving home as fast as they can, I guess, maybe. Endangering their lives so they can post the their model or their file before we go into it. Expand mask topology, there it is. Creates a mask radiating outwards from the active vertex in a uniform manner. Why? This operator is meant to be used interactively through the shortcut. Confirm, link left mouse button, cancel, invert. Oh. Toggle preserve state. Accumulates the new mask on top of the previous one instead of replacing it. For face sets, this creates face set boundaries instead of replacing the existing. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, you didn't see it, but that's okay. I'm telling you what I read. Didn't read more than that. So with left click you can of course select it, but then if you press E, so Shift A and then E. No. E? What does E do? Does stroke method? Oh, cool. Hold on, there you go. Okay, there you go. Creates a mask radiating outwards from the active vertex in a uniform manner. This operator is meant to be used interactively throughout this shortcut. Yeah, hotkeys. Left LMB confirm, cancel, RMB escape, invert F. Hold on. Oh. Oh, what did I do? I pressed Shift D, Control D. What does Control D do? So, Shift A. What was it? F. Ah, that's pretty cool. Okay. What was the next one? E. Accumulates the new mask on top of the previous one instead of replacing it. Yeah, so if I have a mask that looks like this, then I press Shift A again, and then I press E. Ah, okay. Okay, now I get it. So you can do this. Then you can, no, Shift A and then E. Okay, I don't know what you need that for, but I guess that's neat. What else? Upload it. Okay. Toggle gradient. Yeah, gradient. These are pretty useful sometimes for horns or stuff, for example. Gradients, what was the gradient? G. So you can say Shift A and then Shift G. No, you should press G. Then you can create a gradient, which is kind of goofy right now. There you go. Okay. Wait, what happens if I do it here? A and then G. Well, okay. Geodesic recursive step. Generate a new geodesic falloff from the boundary of the enabled vertices of the current falloff. What? Are we back in geometry? Relating to the shortest possible path between 2 points on a curved surface. Okay. Geodesic R, okay. So if I do this, then R. Ah, repeat basically. Woo. Okay. So you can do patterns like this. So you can do this and then you can press R. Wait, why is it not selecting this thing now? The other tentacle or the tongue? Why? What changed? Wait, what did I do? What? How did I change it all of a sudden? It's working now. It's I guess I fixed it by pressing something. I pressed Shift D maybe? Control D? What does Control D do? Can you even type that? Hold on. I guess not. What is... Hold on. Control D? No. What? Spacebar. Decimate? No. Oh, dynamic topology. Okay. Well, that probably not gonna help. Yeah, but it works now for some reason. But which one should it be then? R? Gradient? I don't think you fixed it. Why? It works. Yeah, okay, Hustler. I think it's time for a ban. I think you finally made it. I think you finally overstepped. Now you know what the line is. Do it on 2 close tentacles. Well, they are close. Look, they're pretty close. Ooh. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, look at this. Yeah, let's go here. See how far I can push it? And then even if I go here, you can see it's not going over the tentacle. And then if I go further and further, at some point it's going to reach the end. But it's not just a sphere like going outwards now as a selection. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. For some reason. Okay. Okay, well, that's at least nice to see. Hold on, So G, gradient, R, repetition, topology, recursive step. Wait, is that what it was? Hold on. No, that can't be it. That's not really what it's doing. What was the other one? Alt R? Hold on. Alt R. Okay. How do you... Oh, I think you can press R and then you can press... No. How do you get more than this? There's a way you can increase the steps. But I can't remember how. Oh, there you go. Aha. Look at this. Isn't that cool? And then what you can do is you can use a gradient. What was that again? G? No. Oh damn, I tried it before. I can't remember what it was. Spherical fall off. Hold on. 4. No way. Oh my god. Oh no, okay. So so the reason why it did that is because if you press Shift A, that's one mode, and then if you press 4 while you're in that mode, you change the way it works. Maybe. You press 4 and then you do it again. Yeah, see, now it does the other one. So there are 2 modes, which are not here for some reason. They're not in the settings. But if you do it, you can see that's the first one. Then you press 4, and that's the other one. And you know what's funny about that? 4 is my mask brush. So that means I have 1 for clay strips, 2 for crease, 3 for grab, 4 for mask. And because I pressed 4 for mask, I probably pressed 4 twice while on my mask, so which means it switched the mode. So I was just, you know, doing my thing. Hey, I want to select this, and then hey, I want to go back to the clay strip brush. Let me do a few adjustments here, and then I go back to the mask. I don't know, I talk some stupid stuff, and then hey, I wanted to use my mask. Let's press again, and then oh no, the selection is different. I wonder why, and that's why. No, wait, what? Are you serious? Okay, now I'm getting trolled. Oh, wait, but that doesn't make sense. So if you use it and you press 4, it changes. But how does it begin? Okay, apparently. Yeah, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Loop count increase. Yeah, W, right? Hold on. So if we go in here and we say this, W, we can increase the amount of loops. I don't know exactly how that works, but it works. Okay. Okay. There it is. Is this one? So, okay, it's B. Okay, so if you go here, Shift A, then you press R to increase the amount of loops. There you go. Then you press B. No. Okay, I guess not. Wait, there was some way to make it a gradient. Toggle gradient, hold on. We gotta find this out, okay? This is very important. There you go. Okay, and then we press G. Okay, apparently, no. Okay, doesn't work anymore. Well, let's finish this up. See, I've given you more time, okay? I purposefully stalled so you can have enough time to post your piece, okay? Okay, we need an eye. Perfect eye. Maybe the eyeball's too big. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh no, let's see how high you can go. Oh. All the way up to there. Ah, nobody sees that. It's pretty perfect. Actually, you know what? Let's just, you know. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Let me rotate it up a little bit. Okay. You know what? We're gonna make this an actual eye. This will not look the same that it does in the quick sketch reference, but that's okay. There you go. Extrude along normals. Invert. Wait, do we need to do that? No, we don't. Oh, what I wanted to do. No, I wanted to do that. Extrude. Invert. Extrude. And then remove faces. There you go. Nice little eye right there. Might look a little bit too small, but that's okay. Okay. That's one feral Mike Wazowski. Exactly. He's it's Mike Wazowski version 2. He's been on this weird thing that they wanted to put on in where the other dude jumped on, or where the other one fell onto, that got huge lips in the end. That's what would have happened if Mike would have been put on there. There you go. Okay. We need more. Oh, we can probably just use this one actually. The Suckinator, or whatever it was called, I can't remember. It's been so long. Now they're in college. No, actually they were already working, right? And then they had like another movie that showed them in college. Such a weird transition. Like, first they're working, trying to scare people. I guess then they're in college to learn how to scare. Maybe? I don't know. It's a weird transition. Okay. Then this one down there. Nope, we need one more. A little bit smaller, and then we have it. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do the lighting and shading. Look at it. Sully and Mike, yeah. Okay, I don't think we can fit it better into the frame. Maybe we can rotate it slightly. That might be pretty cool, like this. There you go. Fit it in there as good as possible. I guess that's the best we can do here. We need some lighting now. Oh, that's nice. Again. Yeah, I think the eyes look pretty cool. There it is. Wait, let's go back here. Okay. First of all, main light. Let's put a focus on this thing. Maybe we can put it right there. Right on top. Next one. Alleviating, lighting up the shadows. Giving it more depth. Let's place it right there. Then, the color. Let's place it somewhere over here. Down there, maybe? It's quite bright, actually. It's lighting up a lot, which is not really that great. Maybe we can just decrease the strength. Let's go back into the world real quick. I want to make it darker. There you go. Okay. Okay, color. I would say something like pink. reddish pink would be pretty cool, I think. Like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. I don't think we can probably work with 1000, not 5. You know what? 2.5. That's pretty cool. Okay. Then we need the material. And then we are done. Where's my material? There it is. Wait. Nope. There it is. Perfect. It looks beautiful. We probably need one more light to alleviate the shadows here on the left. It looks very, very weird right now. Okay, let's duplicate this and then we can put it to the other side. Maybe even up top so it doesn't remove the shadows that were there before. There you go, okay. Perfect. Oh, the eyes? What could we do with the eyes? I guess we could just... What do they look like if we just add this weird sphere? Or, you know, eye replacement light. Oh. No, you don't really see the hole anymore. I kind of like it when it's white. Maybe we can make it gray. Maybe that could work. Oh, I like it when it's white and glossy. That looks pretty cool. Maybe a little bit darker. Just a little bit. No, I kind of like it when it's white. Okay. Link and material. There you go. Perfect. Okay. First render. Get ready. Nope. That's... Oh, see? That's the render. Perfect. We're done. Okay, hold on. There you go. Da-da-da. Got a few guests over. Oh, no. Gonna try to make it back for the critique. Hope you'll do well and have a great weekend. Vacation start. You too. Hope you know, wish you a lot of fun with your guests. I'm gonna be extra harsh so that you're gonna have a lot of fun rewatching it when you come back. No, we're gonna yeah, you know, enjoy your Thursday and enjoy the weekend. Okay, there you go. Let's go here and we change the nothing because we need to go here And then we're gonna apply the glare, and then we're good. Let's set it to, I think 7. Maybe even we can maybe even keep it at 8. Oh, I like 7. Okay. Please be. Only way I can learn is if you spank me. Okay, well, you really want to pile on these ban reasons, right? I have them all in a list. Okay, so if you write something bad once, okay, then you're gonna get the hammer. The hammer's coming. Times 8. There you go. Okay. Turned out pretty good, I think. Of course, it doesn't really fit that well into the frame, but you know what can you do? If you want to have a preview, you can look at the thumbnail. The thumbnail is yours. You can see it in Discord. That is, you know, I needed a thumbnail, I guess, and I used yours. I did some adjustments here and there. In the 2D version, of course, the 3D version is a little bit different. I think what we're gonna do with yours is we're gonna grab the correction that I've already done for the thumbnail, for the image, and then we're gonna try to recreate them, or you know, do those changes in 3D models, so we can, you know, not create another version, but actually, you know, get it close to what I've done, to the adjustment that I've done in the image. You love me too much to banish me? I love nobody. Okay. I love only what I can trust, and I trust nothing. There you go. 1, 2, 2, 4, 9. Okay. It is time for stage 2, which means, Photoshop. There it is. Perfect. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Let's add some things here and there. Well, the only thing I really want to do here is turn down this and turn up this. And there you go. Maybe we can probably make the pink kind of stand out a little bit more by using whatever that's supposed to be. What was it? I can't remember what it was called on Google Translate. Something weird. Okay. There you go. So many files. Oh no. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna begin the critique session in 3 minutes after I upload it. And yeah, after I've uploaded this file, we're gonna begin the feedback session, which we will probably begin with Zara, because he posted the first piece that we're gonna look at today. And we're gonna go from there. So, you know, if you've posted last, then you're gonna be last, okay? You're not gonna skip the line. The line has a reason. There's a reason why there's a line, okay? Okay. Yep, 3 minutes. You're gonna see the good old compilation, and then we're gonna begin. You made it? Yes. There you go. Yep, feedback session, and then sculpt analysis, looking at how I made an environment sculpt, which I had a lot of fun with, because it's, you know, a little bit different than just characters. Okay, good to see you in 3 minutes, and then we're gonna begin. We are ready. We are indeed ready. Okay. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the juicy part. Okay. We're now gonna make a new file so we can include everything that we need, or we can import. Let's see. So, as I said before the transition, we're gonna begin with the first submission in the Discord, which was from Zero. Zero posted another character, and we're gonna look at it. Hold on, let me go to here. Perfect. So we have Hustler double W, let's say, and then we have Zero, and then we have one more, I think. Let me check. Maybe 5 more people posted in the time that we started the oh, okay. Started the session. Nope. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's I'm gonna download them real quick and then we can begin. I see, Manika, you've been swearing in the Discord. Very, very bad. This is a kids-friendly Discord, okay? A Christian kids-friendly Discord. I want you to want to remind you of that, okay? One warning. After the second one, you're gonna be expelled. You're gonna have to copy the rules. You're gonna write them on a paper and then send them to me so you can write in the Discord again. Okay, that's how it works. Let me just quickly okay, there you go. Have you ever played with a kid in COD? What is COD? Do you mean the fish? Okay. One bad joke after the other. I'm just gonna stop, okay? Hopefully that's what is that? Okay. Scale in progress. Oh, skeleton or okay. So how do you spell your name again? P455ION? No, 1ON. Okay. Oh, hold on. 1ON. Yeah, I know that it's meant to be Call of Duty. Diverse set of words. Yeah. The good old Call of Duty lobby meme. Okay. Yeah. I know that it's supposed to be Patrick. I'm not that old, okay? I'm probably younger than you are. If you can, well, if you're at least not from America and you have a driver's license. Okay. Okay, yeah, we're gonna begin with Zaro. Zaro has submitted the first piece. You're gonna see it right here. Hold on. I'm gonna just put it in Blender. You're older, yeah, that's what I thought. Visually, I'm probably even younger than I am in real life. Or yeah, that I am. What else can I be? I couldn't be really younger online, I guess. Okay. I'm 22, okay? I'm not born I'm born in the 90s, okay? Please keep that in mind. I'm born in 1999. So I'm always 1 year older than the year 2000. Okay. There it is. So Zara posted, oh, he posted 2. He posted 2 sculpts. We're going to look at both just because it's easier for me to, do both at the, one after the other, even though he posted his second one after some other person. If you post, 3 at the same time, but you posted, we're going to just look, yeah. We're going to do them all together. Okay. So the first character that he posted is, wait. Hold on. Wait. There you go. He posted, dude. Okay, this one. That is the first character. He has posted a few more images from the side and also from the front. Okay. let's get into this. Let's get the pen in hand and do some adjustments here. We don't need this sphere right there. Let's fully focus on the image. We can probably begin with, well, the only images that we probably need are, well, I think this one is not. So what I like about the 3/4 view is you can see how, for example, how deep the eye goes into the middle. Oftentimes this part here of the eye goes quite deep into the, I guess, into the skull, you could say. The distance from the inner corner of the eye to the nose is quite long. That's one thing you can see here. You can see the same on the other side. You can see what the cheekbone looks like, you know, this sort of silhouette right there. I don't really have much to say about that. I think it looks pretty good. So we're not going to look at this. I don't think this one can, you know, has as much information as these two have. As always, we're going to focus on one, and then we're going to do, apply the changes that we talk about in Photoshop afterwards. So we're probably going to, let's see, or should we split them up? Let's see. Let's just begin with one. I think what I want to begin with is, let's begin with this one. Okay. I think the best way to do this would be to go to Pinterest and grab a good old reference. This way we can look at real life reference to see what you could improve. Not because I don't know what you should improve, but then I can immediately give you an example on what you can do to improve it, okay? So let me just quickly look up a similar looking image. This one looks pretty interesting. Let's see. I think this one is perfect. It's quite, hold on. There you go. Gonna put that here as well. Okay, so we're gonna look at it's not a real life reference, but it's a, I guess, closer reference to real life. It's also a CGI image, computer generated image, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna look at that because I think you know, kind of looking at that can give you some idea what you can change. So this one is what I mean. You can see right here, this is a digitally created human as well. I think it comes pretty close to yours. Oh, hold on. There you go. Of course, there are still differences, but I think we can take a few things from this and include it in yours as well. So let's look at the face first. So from what I'm guessing is because of the skin color, is that you try to create a different ethnicity in terms of the character. You know, if you have a different character, I mean, if you have a character with a different ethnicity, they oftentimes have different characteristics that, you know, make them look like that ethnicity. Even if you would remove the color of their skin, you can still oftentimes, or most of the time, see what ethnicities they are. So there has to be something that is part of their appearance without, or that is not their skin color, that sort of shows you their ethnicity. I think you can, let's focus on that. What can you do, for today we're going to focus on that. What can you do here to make this look more like a, I guess you could say, I guess that's what it's supposed, or what you wanted to go for. You know, you could say, well, it could be, you know, Indian, like East Asia, is that right? It could be, no, it's not East Asia, right? Geology, okay? Geology? No, that's also, okay, you never mind, okay? It could be a person from India, it could be a person from, I don't know, from Africa, it could be from America, an African-American person, it could be a mix between whatever. We're gonna go with an African-American person, okay? I think that's the easiest one to choose. So, because this is basically the same. This, you could say maybe it could be a mix between two ethnicities, maybe. You know, it could be I don't know, like Caucasian and African American, but I think it can still serve as a good reference. So, yeah, what makes a African American? What defines the appearance of an African American? Oftentimes, they have, I think on average, I guess you could say, they have bigger lips, and yeah, that's for example one thing you can include. I think if you already have pretty big lips, this one also has pretty big lips. I think also that they have that their lips are a little bit further forward. I think their face in general is further out. The teeth sort of protrude further from, I guess, the level of the eye, I guess you could say. So if you go look at it from this angle, you can see that they're like further forward, which means that the lips sort of get pushed outwards more. This is why they have bigger lips. I don't know if that was at all understandable, but okay. Let's go here into paint mode. No, I wanted to go here and then use the pen. Okay. Let's begin with things you can do to make this to improve this face. What I like about this character is you've included the nose shape. I think is pretty good. I think overall African American, for example, have quite, you know, wide noses, you could say. I think that's one thing you've included quite well. I think compared to other characters, for example, to other, I guess, ethnicities, and also other sculpts that you've created before, I think the nose here is pretty wide. You can maybe even make them a little bit wider. Of course, that is also kind of like a characteristic. You can decide how big you want to make it. But I think overall the shape works quite well. If you would look at a I guess African American nose, it would be like pretty wide, like this. There you go, I guess. There you go. And then looking at it from the side, it is oftentimes for Caucasian, what you have is a nose profile that looks like this. And for African American, oftentimes what you have is something more like this. Well, this. So the angle goes a little bit higher, and the nostril is somewhere over here. That is somewhat of a different too. No, it actually doesn't go like in this curve. It actually goes it's quite shallow, the bridge. And I think, at least looking at it from the front view, I think you've done that quite well. I think one thing you could do is sort of increase the definition of different features. I think that's one thing you can take from this reference here. You can see how defined these lines here are. You see how defined this is. You can very clearly see a brown line here to indicate where the edge of the nose is. You can also see a very clear line here, like this. You can see a very clear line maybe even here for the lips as well, especially the top lip, because of this sort of small shine that is right there. The skull of black half protruding mouth area. Yeah. So that's what pushes the lips a little bit further forward and makes them sort of, I guess, open up more, which makes them bigger. Then maybe even the eyes. I think the eyes, let's see. Comparing these changes, or these sort of contours, or these defining lines, looking at it in yours, I think one big thing that you can do is include this line right here, that basically that we have right here in the reference as well. You can see this line, you can see it here as well. This line going around the eye. I'm going to show you what that line actually is in just a second. So bring that line maybe in, just add a little bit more definition to the features of the face. For the lips, you can see right here, these two edges are quite defined. I think that's pretty good. I think what you can definitely do is here on the edge, where the nose connects to the rest of the head, or to the cheeks, I guess you could say, to this area here. I think you can kind of create a sharper crease to just kind of define the shape of the nose a little bit better. You can see it very well here, how defined it is. You can very easily see the nose shape even if you're far away, you can even see the curve right there. I think that is one thing you can improve right there. The further we go away, it gets kind of weird where the nose actually ends. So just kind of, you know, defining it a little bit better can probably help there. Excuse me. Okay. When we talk about lips, we're looking at this. I think oftentimes not only do the lips, I guess, get wider vertically. So in this direction, they also oftentimes get wider horizontally. So looking at my lips are quite thin. If I do this, for example, you can see they get, I guess, a little bit like wider when like vertically. And then if I would have something in my mouth, it would not only go up to kind of well, the thing in my mouth would push the lips not only upwards but also to the sides, which means that the mouth oftentimes is also a little bit wider too. So let me just quickly look up black female image. Let's look at Caucasian female image. There you go. We're gonna look at this one and then let's see. This one. I think that's pretty good. Okay. You can see one right here. And you can see one right here. So this one, looking at the lips, quite big at the bottom, a little bit thinner at the top. And then roughly, you can see it right here, the corners end in the middle of where at the inner edge of the iris, I guess you could say. That is also kind of dependent on the person, of course. Sometimes it's wider, sometimes it's thinner. Looking at the reference right here, top lip is pretty big, bottom lip is pretty big, and then the width could be similar. You could maybe change. You could keep the width maybe as big. Let's see if your lips end at the inner edge of the iris. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go. Let's see. Can we have a line right here? Can we use a line? There it is. You can maybe make them a little bit wider. You know, just a little bit wider. Can probably not there you go. Make them just a little bit wider. I think that can help a little bit. So you can define the nose a little bit better. You can define the eyelid a little bit better. We're going to go into that in just a second. Make maybe the lips a little bit wider, maybe even the upper lip a little bit bigger. Make it more of a round shape. If we look at this right here, it is it's similar it's basically just like one curve going upwards. Let's look at a few more here. They all smile, but this one you can see the same. It's basically just like one curve going from one edge to the other. Right here, it's similar. Here, pretty similar. You can see they still have this sort of middle part here, this sort of V shape there, but it's not maybe as pronounced as with, for example, her. You can see it's very clearly right there. Let's see it. Let's see if there's more. This one. You can see here it's more like it goes upwards like this. The lip, I mean, goes upwards and then it goes into the V shape and then it goes down again in this sort of S curve. Here the same, you can see it starts pretty thin and then it goes like, it starts as like an S curve. So it goes goes in this direction, then it goes up and then it goes horizontal again. That's what I mean as the S curve. So what you can maybe do even is you can kind of like make the lips a little bit rounder, starting out doing it more like this, having a sort of shallow, I guess, V shape right there, and then going like this. There you go. That can maybe help too. Going to the eyes, I think one thing that I can see before we go into the eyelids is, well, one thing that is actually very important for eyelids is looking at the eyelids. Of course, eyelids are basically skin, and skin has a certain thickness. So I think one thing you can do to make your eyes look immediately more realistic is make the eyelids a little bit thicker. Just push the eyeballs a little bit further into the skull. What that does basically is it gives you an eyelid shadow on the eyeball. If you look at an eye that looks like this, there you go. And then we have the eye right here, the iris. Perfect drawing, of course, as always. There you go. What happens if there's light coming from up top? There you go. Tip, tip. Light. What happens is that because the eyelid has a certain width to it, if this is the eyelid and this is the iris, the light will come and it will hit the eyelid, and then there's a small shadow right here. If we would kind of draw that in here, if the shadow would come from here, it would kind of look like this. So it kind of hits the upper part of the iris, which creates like this line up top. Currently for yours, it doesn't really have that. Maybe also because you use an HDRI to light the character. Oftentimes HDRIs kind of wash out the character in itself, which means, for example, if we, I don't want to pull up an example right now because that takes a little bit of setting up. HDRIs oftentimes are basically environments that have been set up. The problem with environments is that oftentimes, of course, you're, for example, in walls, or you're outside, and there's not only one light source like the sun, for example. There are also like indirect sources of light, so indirect lighting. If you're in a room, for example, and then there's just a single window in there, the light will come from there, but you will also be lit up from the back because the light will hit the wall behind you and it will come back to you, which means that if we have that a lot, if there's a lot of light in the room, for example, everything gets kind of washed out because as we looked at it in the quick sketch, what I like to do is I like to place a light somewhere up top to kind of highlight a certain aspect of the sculpt, but then you can see the shadows are very, very dark and you can see any detail there. So what I do is I add another smaller, very faint light to the side to sort of bring a little bit of light to the side as well, like an indirect light basically. The problem is if there's too much, or if the strength of the main light is too strong, and the indirect light basically, of course, if we have walls, that would be the indirect light that I place on the side. It would basically wash out the entirety of the shadowy area. So there is no real shadow anymore. Everything gets kind of washed out. That's oftentimes what happens with HDRIs. Same with, for example, environment shots. Environment shots are not only the sun casting down, light. It is also the entirety of the sky that gets lit up and lights you up from all directions. And then, of course, in addition to that, all the other, all the other stuff around you. That's why oftentimes, for space shots, I guess you could say, you oftentimes have a space. Hold on, let me actually see if that's 100% true what I'm saying. Space station. Let's grab this one, for example. Is that a real image? Yeah. I mean, it's all, of course, it's all computer generated, but let's see. Let's use this one. Yeah, you can see right here. So, of course, if you're in space, there's nothing really to reflect light off of, except maybe for the Earth itself. Because if you think about it, when it's night, it's not really 100% pitch black, because the moon actually reflects light onto, or the sun reflects light onto the Earth by hitting the moon, I guess, with its light, so that it's not 100% pitch dark in the night. So it's not 100% dark here in the shadow area, but you can still see there's a sun. The sun is, of course, lighting up the space station from a certain angle, which would be somewhere down here, I guess. And then the other side of the space station is very, very dark. You can see it right here. Very, very dark, especially up here. So if you only have one light source, you can get very, very sharp shadows or very, very strong shadows. The problem is if there would be, for example, another panel right here, like a white panel just flying, I guess, behind this, these areas here, these areas right there would be way, way brighter than they are right now. And if you do that basically 360 degree around you, everything sort of lights up the shadows and everything kind of gets, you know, more and more lighter. And that's oftentimes what can happen with HDRIs. So one thing that I like to do when I create these HDRI or these character shots, I like to either use my own light to create a you know, a good looking lighting situation for the character, or what I've done for my female orc character is I like to, I don't even know where it was, hold on, I think it was here. Yeah, there it is. What I like to do is I like to remove most of the light coming from the HDRI. So I go in here and you can, nope, that's the wrong one. There it is. So this one I've used an HDRI. And the way I've used it is I've used a very, very bright HDRI and then I put a plane in front of the main light source. This way you can get, well, I put a plane there and then I added some small, I guess, holes in it. This way I can create these very, very sharp shadows, which are not pitch black because there's still light coming from the sides. But you can get these very clear shadows. And then you can also get these very, very bright parts because you've cut some holes in them. So you can basically create a more interesting, I guess, lighting situation by not just letting the HDRI hit the entirety of your character, but splitting up or removing some of the light can bring some dynamic parts, or can bring some, I guess, dynamicness into the render, to make, you know, the entirety look a little bit, you know, give it a little bit more depth. You can see how dark it gets here, for example, and then you can see here on the edge of the character there's a little bit of blue right there, just because there's the sky coming from the other side of the HDRI lighting up the back of the character. There's a little bit of blue right there. So you still get sort of like a 360 degree lighting, but it's of course way not as strong because you removed at least one side, mainly because you've you know, you've used the plane to kind of use it as like a shadow catcher, I guess, or shadow creator. So you can either kind of, you know, break up the light and add some small shadows to the character to make it look more, I guess, you know, interesting, I guess. Or you can, you know, light the scene yourself. Which then what you can do with it is you can add these nice little shadows right here to your eyes once you've kind of brought the eyeballs back into the eye a little bit, which then means that the eyelids are a little bit thicker. These shadows can then make the eyes look a little bit more alive. Right now, they sort of, like, they're basically white everywhere. You can see a shadow right there, but that is more because of the nose. Because the light is coming from the right side, you can see the nose cast a shadow onto the eye, which is why this white is brighter than this one. But you should also have this darkness all over the top of the eye, basically. That is currently not the case, but I think that can also make the eyes look a little bit more realistic. Yeah, what I like about this is the hair color. Of course, last time we talked, we went over your last piece. We talked about the the hair color, and the last one was, I think, blonde, and it looked very golden because it was very, very, very saturated. And we talked about natural colors looking more desaturated and a little bit, yeah, less colorful. And you know, this one is probably closer to like a realistic hairstyle, especially the one that you've posted before that. This one looks pretty nice. This one I think I like a lot in terms of its color and the look. Let's go to the eyelids. Let's see. Let's quickly cover what eyelids, not eyelids, but what this crease above the eyelids actually is. If we look at the render, I mean reference again, you can see this very, very clear line right there. You can also see it in here. You can see a very clear line for her. You can see a very clear line here as well. You can see this very, very clear line. So what is that clear line actually? If we look at eyelid, no, let's go to, I think I still have it here. We need to look at fat pads of the face. Good old fat pads again. Back at it again. There you go. Resources. Nope. Come on, where are you? Is it here? Well, we can probably use this one. So here you can pretty much see what happens. The pink part here is fat. The brown part right there, the shape right here up top, is the eyebrow, and the blue part are the eyelids. What happens is there's fat above the eyelid, sort of sitting on it, and either it is sort of genetically that way, or you just get older, the skin gets looser and the fat pad kind of falls down a little bit. The older you are, the more that it's the case. Sometimes even you can see the fat pad hanging over the eyelid entirely. That's especially true for old people, for example. So this line gets created because there's a fat pad above the eyelid, and because you open and close your eye, it kind of moves itself underneath the fat pad, which creates a small pocket, or a small crease, I guess, between the two. So if you close your eye, you can see the fat pad is right here, but there's no crease right there because the eyelid basically takes up the entire space of the eyeball that it's supposed to cover. But if you open your eye, you can see that it kind of slides underneath the fat pad and creates this small crease right there. That is why you have a crease above your eyelids. So there's a fat pad right here, and then you have the eyelid right here. And because the eyelid, which is normally that big, moves upwards, and underneath this fat pad, it basically moves from here to here. It creates this small fold right there. That's one more thing that you can include right here. You know, just like this small line right there. Welcome, Shop Ham Vernicker. Hope you enjoyed your Tuesday. No, your Thursday. Hope you had a great day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. You know, a little bit more definition on the nose, maybe or overall the face. Like for example, the crease right there, making the eyelids a little bit thicker. Maybe the mouth a little bit wider, maybe a little bit digger, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe rounder too. I think the face shape is okay. Yeah, I mean, you could say it's pretty round, which means generally, you know, if you have a more of a like fit character or more of a lean character, more of a lean person, for example, with her or with, let's see, her, for example, you can kind of see the cheekbones sort of a little bit defined, similar to her, I guess. This one's quite drastic. You can see there's like a small shadow underneath the cheekbone, and that is because you basically the fat that is on the side or underneath the cheekbone is not as big as you would have it for a little bit, I guess, more chubby people, which means you can kind of decide whether or not you want to make a more lean character or a more, I guess, a little bit, you know, chubby character, in terms of the general fat pad distribution. Oftentimes, or what you kind of have to decide in the in the creation of your character is how I guess what the fat percentage is for your character. Do they have a lot of fat? Do they not have a lot of fat? And then you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to apply that level to your entire face. So for example, There was a really great image here. Anatomy for sculptors, fat pads. There you go, that's what I mean. You can see right here, oh, okay, probably not. Hold on. I can't open it in a new window. Why? There you go. Dependent on how much fat somebody has, all the fat pads get bigger. You can see here, these ones are quite faint, these ones are quite thin, and then the bigger or the more fat somebody has, the more everything sort of gets more voluminous. I guess all the fat pads get bigger. So if you decide that you, for example, want to do something more like this, where there's a little bit of fat underneath the cheekbone, which means compared to this one, for example, in the 3/4 view that you can see right here. Nope, right here. You can see here, this one resembles the second character, or the second, I guess, version a little bit more. You can see this one's more of a round silhouette right there. This one has like a small S shape. You can see the cheekbone very clearly. If you want to do something more like this, you kind of have to apply the sort of level of fat pad volume to the entirety of the character. So you could, for example, kind of smooth everything out a little bit more, or you not smooth everything out more, but for example, smooth the area around the neck underneath the jaw a little bit, add a little bit more volume right there. You could maybe, for example, for the eyelid right here, increase the volume of the fat pad above it a little bit. You can see here how the fat pad gets bigger the more fat she has. You can see here, for example, the eyes are a little bit wider open. The volume isn't as big, then the fat kind of falls down a little bit more, and then the eyes are a little bit smaller, for example. Not smaller, but they're not as open anymore. Yeah, overall, just kind of, going with what is it? Like a unanimous, is that a word? With basically the same amount of fat everywhere. If you decide, well, for example, the face should be pretty round, the cheekbones are not as defined, you can, maybe add a little bit more fat right there, for example. Maybe you can add a little bit more right here. Doesn't necessarily, this one is, I think, more unique in a way that it's not necessarily, it's quite small, so it doesn't get as much more, I guess, volume. Maybe down here you could bring in a little bit more to kind of overall level out the amount of fat that is in the face. Yeah, let's focus on the face for like not the hair, okay? Yeah, I think we're gonna do these changes, and then we're gonna go to the second sculpt of yours, and then we're gonna go to the next one. Okay, well, that's not the second one. Hold on, let me pull it up, and then we can apply all the changes that we've discussed just a second ago. There you go. Okay. So let's begin with, I guess, with general anatomy that we talked about. We talked about the lips, for example. So one thing you could do is you could go to the lips. You could, what does that do? Yeah, you can maybe make them a little bit bigger. I don't like how it actually changes the lips. I'm just going to do it manually. Give them more of a curved shape, not like an S shape, but more like a curve. So you could pull it up a little bit more right here. There you go. I think the width overall looks pretty good already. Maybe make them a little bit bigger. There you go. And then you can make them a little bit wider. So small numbers here. There you go. There you go. Then one thing you can do is you can define the sort of the nose a little bit better, which you can't really do here in the in this window. Was there more here? No. Okay. So we can go back in here. one thing we can do as well is let's define the nose a little bit better. We go in here, we use, let's say this color. And then we just kind of add a small amount of definition to it. Right here. Do this, there you go. Do the same on the other side. Oh, hello. Yeah, just kind of a little bit more definition right there. There you go. Just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit clearer where the nose is. You don't need to make it like a perfect outline, but just overall, you know, creating a little bit more depth to kind of make the nose a little bit clearer, create some definition for the nose. This way you can immediately sort of see the nose a little bit better. The face looks a little less washed out. Note that I'm still watching, just not on my phone. Even if you would not watch, okay, I would still do this, okay? I would not stop. But I appreciate it. Let's go and add a little bit of a shadow to the eyes to give it, add more depth to the eyes. So we can go in here to this. Add a little bit of darkness here. This means dark, right? Yeah. So we want to create the shadow above the, or underneath the eyelid, right here. Which would suggest that the eyelids have a certain thickness that creates a shadow underneath them. There you go. We go in here, we include this right there. We should probably set it to 100% right there. Wait. Okay, yeah. There you go. See how it changes the look immediately? The before and after. See how quickly that just changes the eyes and how the realism basically, you can see, look, see before and after. See how now not this top part isn't completely white. It has a slight shadow, and that is because the eyelids, you can see it in the references too here. Let's look at this for example. See how thick the eyelids actually are. See how that they have a certain thickness, and then if you look at the, can you see it here? Yeah, you can see it here. See how there's like a small shadow underneath the eyelid? That's what I mean. Right there. It is brighter here and then it gets darker right there. Because of the shadow, because the light, because the eyelids have a certain thickness. And adding that to the eyes can immediately make them look more realistic. So we have the lips, we have the nose definition. We then have the line above the eyes. The eyelid, I guess, fold right there. There's probably a medical term. I just don't know what it is. So let's go and add that real quick. We go in here and do this. Right there. We have a small little line right here, just to kind of suggest that there's a fold. Can't really see it that well with, let's make it darker. There you go. Right there, just to kind of suggest that there's a fold right there. We do the same on the other side. There you go, just kind of, you know, add some more definition and some more features into the face that need to be there to make it look like a realistic face. There you go, now you can see this line right there, especially on this side, kind of suggesting that there's like a small fold right there. Yeah. Let's look at the, oh no. Okay, let me save that file real quick. Photoshop immediately destroyed itself again. I don't know why, but it does that sometimes for some reason. There you go. Okay, let's look at the before and after. Hold on. There you go. So this is before, and that's after. What we've changed is the nose got a little bit more definition right there. Just kind of deepening the crease right there from the nose to the rest of the, like basically increasing the crease that is right here on the side. Then we have the lips, which are just slightly wider and maybe a little bit bigger too. We have the eyes, which receive this. With the eyelids, we've made them thicker, so there is this shadow right there that adds more depth to the eyes and, you know, makes them look more realistic. And then we also added the eyelids right there. And all that together looks like this. There you go. Before, after. You can see how much more, how clearer the face looks just because we've added these lines around the nose. You can see here it kind of transitions over to the cheeks, but then adding just a small shadow right there can do so much more. Can do so much. Yeah. So those are some changes you could do for this character. I think overall, you know, looking at the nose, you know, for example, for the nose, you've incorporated maybe a slightly bigger nose just to kind of make it look a little bit more like a, I guess, African American woman or person, let's say. Then, of course, one thing you could say is that you can adjust the makeup a little bit so that it, you know, as we said before, when it ends, and basically every time it ends pretty sharply. Right now it ends pretty round. So you could maybe, you know, sharpen it at the end a little bit. Just kind of, you know, make it look more elegant. Let's go to the second submission. Oh. Okay. The second submission is a kid. There it is. That was the second submission. Well, I'm guessing it's supposed to be a kid. Maybe it should be a I don't know, a grown adult. Could also be the case, but I think it's supposed to be a kid. And yeah, I think what you've tried here is you tried to learn, or you try to practice different proportions for different types of people. So, for example, kids have different proportions than grown people. Other like ethnicities have slightly different proportions, and you know, I think that's what you've tried to practice here. For kids, one big thing to make them look like kids is that they have, first of all, more fat in their face, because they basically I don't really know why, but they have more fat in their face. You can definitely see that in toddlers, for example. You can see how round they are. They look like sumo, you know, wrestlers, but just because of how much fat is actually on their body. And also in their face, you can see very big cheeks, very like round, like very small eyes, because there's so much fat everywhere. And overall, just, you know, a lot of fat. And that is one aspect of young children. And of course, the older you get, the leaner I guess you get too. And then one other thing is the proportions of the face. Kevin, I guess you're Zaro in in Discord. The proportional changes of kids is, first of all, the eyes are pretty big. Lips, I think, are pretty small. Nose is pretty small. The head shape is a lot of head up top, and then the face is quite small too. So looking at, for example, chibi characters, that's why chibi characters look like kids. Because kids have bigger heads, especially upper bigger heads. So if we compare chibi, I don't know, let's say anime, I don't know. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's use this one right there. Big eyes, small mouth, small nose, big head. Looking at toddler, let's say. Of course, you didn't necessarily sculpt a toddler, but why is that one of the first ones? Let's grab this one. So you can see very, very round cheeks, especially here you can see the fat pad very, very clearly. Thin lips, also small mouth, small nose, quite big eyes. Looking at it here, of course, you can see small nose, small mouth, big eyes, big head. You can also see how big the upper head is compared to the rest of the face. One thing you can do to make a character immediately look more like a kid is oftentimes we say going from the top of the head to the bottom of the head, the middle of that is where the eyes are located. If you put them lower than that, they oftentimes look more like children. So for this one, if you would place it, if you would start from here to here, the mid would probably be somewhere on the eyebrow height. And, you know, his eyes are a little bit below that. So that's, for example, one proportional change that you can do. Just lowering the eyes a little bit more will make it look more like a kid. So I think the eyes are bigger in children because the eyes actually don't change in size as you get older. I think, let me just quickly check that. Maybe I'm completely wrong with that. That's just a theory that I had. Do eyes grow with age? Yeah, there you go. Your eyes don't get bigger in middle age. Oh, they only grow during childhood and your teens. Okay. Okay, so they actually grow. But looking at, for example, this dude, and then we look at man. Perfect Google search. Well, that's not what I... Well, let's look at this dude. First of all, the face overall is way more stretched out. You can see how close how short the nose bridge is. Long nose bridge right here. You can see the eyes in comparison to the entirety of the face are smaller. You can see the lips get bigger. They also probably have more distance between the nose and the lips right there. The face overall gets longer. The jaw especially gets more defined, a little bit bigger too. Yeah, basically you start off as a sphere and then you scale as you get older. You scale on the z-axis lower and lower and lower, of course, until you're, I guess, 18 maybe, or 25 or so. You know, your face sort of grows in height, and proportionally, of course, your features sort of you know, change in position too, and in distance from each other. So what that means, if you bring all the face parts closer together, like the nose closer to the eyes, mouth closer to the nose, everything sort of closer together, it looks more like a kid. So if you look at this, for example, in yours, you can see the nose is pretty close to the eyes, which is pretty good. We have quite round cheeks, which is nice. We have lips. Maybe you could say the lips are quite big. I think this one you wouldn't say it's a toddler though. I think this one looks more like a yeah, like a kid basically, like a, I don't know, like 2 to 3 year old. If you look at that, 3-year-old looks more like, I don't know. Here we have a neutral look here. This one. This one you can see the lips get bigger. You can see still quite a big head, or the proportions are still, the nose is pretty short still. Everything is sort of located in the lower half rather than the eyes are in the middle and then the eyebrows are above that. So one thing you could do maybe to kind of make it look a little bit more like a kid is change the proportions and push the eyebrows as well as the eyes maybe, or just overall. Let's draw in here. all that you can have in this box or in this trapezius. There you go. Move all of that, maybe just a little bit lower, you know, kind of bring it a little bit closer together. This way the nose gets a little bit shorter. Oh, that's an awesome arrow. The eyes, bring them a little bit lower too. Eyebrows too. The lips. I think the lips, in terms of their width, could be okay. Maybe you can make them a little bit thinner. Of course, that probably also depends on what kind of ethnicity it is. I think one thing you could also do is you can create, or you can add this very, very clear line that all of these basically have, all these images, which is this line right there. This line that goes right above the corner of the mouth, like this one right there. You can see when you smile, you can see it right there. Which is basically created by the fan pad that's lying right here, right there. What you can do is you can maybe just kind of, by increasing the volume right here and making a nice clear crease right there, you can indicate that this is quite a chubby, individual, which means it looks a little bit more like a kid right there. There you go. Maybe even go a little bit lower. You can see here, you can see it's quite round already, but bringing in this crease right there can probably help too, right there. Yeah, I think overall it already looks pretty much like a kid. So, at least, you did the job. You've succeeded in what you wanted to do. There may be a few adjustments that you can do, but I think overall it already looks pretty much like what you wanted to accomplish. Overall, I guess what you could say is maybe, overall maybe defining some of the features a little bit more, like the lip sharpness up here, maybe a little bit like this. We look at this image down here, you can see how sharp the upper lip is. Even the lower lip for this guy is quite big. Oh, you can also see how wide it is down here. You can see how much fat he still has. Looking at yours, what you can do maybe is just kind of make it a little bit wider like this. That's quite big, but you know what I mean. Just kind of indicate that there's quite a little fat in his face. Yeah, same with the nose. Maybe just a little bit more definition right there can probably help. So let's bring this into Photoshop and do these changes. I'm posting all these in as a download link in the personal feedback channel after we're done, so you can look at this. Wait, yeah, you can look at this afterwards if you want. Compare it. There you go. Okay, let's do some changes. Let's begin with the basic stuff, which would be, or the fundamental stuff, which would be anatomy or proportions. So first things first, what we said is just kind of increase, or no, bring everything a little bit closer together so that the sort of upper part of the head is a little bit bigger than the face area, I guess. What we'll do is we'll just move everything a little bit lower. Make the nose a little bit shorter. There you go. We can maybe even move everything a little bit. I don't want to bring it too low. There you go. What you can then do, maybe you can make if you look at the reference again, you can see how how horizontal it is, how the chin, it doesn't have a lot of protrusion. There's not like this V shape, or if you want to say the V shape is very, very wide, usually for like, I guess, people like this. You can see the V shape is pretty sharp, like this for the chin right here, or for the jaw. For him though, it is pretty open, pretty wide. So what you could do is you could maybe either, you could either make these fan pads a little bit bigger and bring them lower, this. just a little bit, and then you can also bring the chin a little bit higher to not only make the distance here between the lips and the chin a little bit, no, shorter, smaller. You can also make him add a little bit more fat to his face. There you go. So that's the beginning. And then what we can do, it looks kind of deformed a little bit right now. Why? It's always glitching and I don't know why. Let me just quickly make it switch, save it real quick. Okay. Okay, hold on. Dude. Okay. Something's wrong. Okay. Then what we can do is we can bring these lines right here for indicating that there's, you know, like a fat pad right there. Okay, well, if you don't want me to use the pen, then I'm not going to use it. There you go. Right here. Kind of doing that right there. Not only to sort of define the nose, but also to define the fat pad right here. It look kind of weird right now, but there you go. Okay. And then maybe what you can do as well is you can just kind of overall make the head portion a little bit bigger. Before, after. So it looks a little bit more like a kid. Of course, I think this one looks more like a, I guess you could say 12-year-old. It depends on what you wanted to go for. Oh, welcome back, Zachary. I hope you have enjoyed your Thursday. Hope you're excited for the weekend. Yeah. So this one looks more like a, I guess, 12-year-old, I would say. This one looks more like a, I don't know. This one is quite a big forehead. Hold on. More like a, I don't know, 3-year-old or maybe 6-year-old. So it depends on what you wanted to go for. Of course, these are quite strong lines, but I'm going to keep them there just to kind of show what I mean. Yeah, these are some changes that you can do to kind of, you know, make it look more like a kid. I'm going to save that right there. Okay, that's, I think it looks like the meme Asian kid. The meme Asian kid? Oh, do you mean the smiling kid? Hold on. Meme Asian kid, right? The smiling, this one? Or you mean this one? Oh, you mean this one, right? All the other ones, I don't really know. Maybe a little bit. With shorter hair. Yeah. You can see here these very clear lines. That's what I mean. Okay. Let's go to the next submission. Which is from, hold on, who was the next one to post? Hustler. Okay. He submitted not only an image, but also a file. I actually already worked on the image. That is what you can see in the YouTube thumbnail. Which is, wait. Oh, I didn't save it as an external file. Hold on. You can see it right here. So this was the before image, and this was the after image. I'm going to quickly save this. Hold on. There you go. We don't need this. We don't need this. There you go. So I can show you what I did here. Okay. So let's look at the before and after. Okay. So what I basically did is a few things. What I did first is I adjusted the anatomy a little bit, which we should find somewhere in here. There you go. So that's the original as far as I know. Let me remove everything else so we can see the original. There you go. So that was the original. The first thing that I have done, we can see right here. Takes a little bit to load. No, that was actually, I just kind of lifted the corner of the mouth a little bit. That is something more optional, I guess. This one looks more like a neutral, I guess, mouth. It doesn't really need to be changed, but I changed it a little bit, made it a little bit, made it smile a little bit, made them smile. Then I changed the proportions a little bit. So let's go over the adjustments that I've done here, and then we can do the same adjustments in the 3D file. So the main changes that I've done is first of all, let's look at the head shape. First of all, what I've done is I've lowered the forehead a little bit. You can see right here, it's lower than what it was before. The forehead I lowered just a little bit. What I've also done is I've moved basically everything a little bit closer together. The nose is shorter, the eyes are a little bit lower, the maybe even the chin stays in roughly the same spot. Look at the eyes, for example, a little bit lower. I also changed the jaw size or the jaw width. Looking at, for example, a skeleton, which we have right here, you can see the only thing wider than the, well, okay, let's look at this real quick. What you can see is that for both, the jaw is almost as wide as the upper part of the head. You can see the upper part is roughly this wide. And the jaw is just a little bit, I guess, thinner. The jaw also sort of stays in the same, the lower it goes, it stays in the same, it stays as wide as it did up top. It maybe goes, like, moves into the middle a little bit, but overall the width stays roughly the same. So what I've done here is, right now you can see before, you can see this is the width of the head, the upper head. Then looking at the jaw is very, very thin compared to the upper head. So what I've done is I kind of moved the jaw out a little bit, made it a little bit wider, brought the jaw bones out a little bit, just so we have a more natural face shape. What I've done then is I went into the cheekbones, and I've just kind of course that could be also optional, I guess, just with what we've seen with Zaro sculpt. I've accentuated the cheekbones a little bit. I've moved basically the geometry that was here into the middle a little bit, because what I've done here basically is I've moved everything that is right here more into the center, which meant that this dark spot here is basically highlighting the cheekbone a little bit more. So you can see right here, the cheekbone gets lit up a little bit more. You can see it right here pretty clearly. What I've done then for the nose is basically a little bit, I guess, yeah, I've adjusted the shape a little bit. So one thing that I've done is I've made the nostrils shorter. You can see right here, the nostrils are pretty big. Generally speaking, nostrils aren't, I don't know, I still haven't found a good rule for nostrils. Let's look at a few examples here. One idea that I had for a rule was that nostrils don't go over the tip of the nose. So what I mean is, you can see right here the end roughly there. The tip of the nose, I would say, end also roughly there. Let's go to another one. This one. This one, for example, has a longer, has, I guess, bigger nostrils. But I think the tip also ends roughly there. What I mean with the tip, you can see in the nose anatomy. I include into the tip not only the sort of the furthest, the part that is the furthest out, I guess. The tip, basically, you know, right there. This part right there. But I also include basically these two flaps that build the tip. So you have in your nose two pieces that sort of wrap around the tip of your nose, which creates the tip, which you can see right here, this white part right there. And as you can see in this illustration, the nostrils don't go higher than that. Let's look at my actual image that I've created for this anatomy. I made a nose anatomy video. Let's see if we can find the image to that real quick. Is it in here? Nope. Hold on. Nope. There it is. So what I include into the nose anatomy or into the nose tip is what you can see here in green. That is what I mean with the nose tip. There are these two flaps that go around like in a C shape and build the tip of the nose basically. The red part basically is part of the nostril, or that represents the nostril, and the nostril go underneath this green part, these green two flaps. I have a few more here somewhere, hold on. Not in here, I guess. There we go. Nope, where are they? They must be somewhere. I used them in the video, didn't I?
So you want to know how to
Hold on.
The best way to learn how to sculpt anything is by knowing what the structure of that thing is that you're trying to sculpt.
There it is. So you can see right here, this green part is part of the tip of the nose. The red part is the nostril. As you can see, the nostril doesn't go over the tip of the nose. I'm looking at the original image, which is this one. The tip, I would say, ends somewhere over here, but the nostrils go over that. I think we also have a side view that he also posted a side view. Let's look at that and see if we may be wrong. Maybe it just looks like that from the side. Yeah, you can see the tip roughly ends over here, but the nostril goes even higher than that. So one thing you can do is you can lower the nostril, just overall, make them, you know, yeah, bring them down a little bit. So what I've done here is I just moved them down. There you go. Just, you know, made them thinner. I also did a I made this nose shape into a T shape, you could say. What we've discussed last time is that the nostril basically doesn't go to the middle of the nose, the bridge that you could see right here, but it actually goes like into or to the side of that bridge. It's kind of hard to kind of explain. I can maybe show it to you though. So if you look at this, he actually included it right here. So what happens is it goes from the middle to the outside, and then it goes in again, but it doesn't connect to down here. It connects to the inside of the nose. He included it. I think what you can do to make it look a little bit more natural is you can just kind of change the shape a little bit to make it be pretty horizontal at the end. It's let me see if we can find good reference. This one, for example, is a good reference. You can see it goes in and then pretty horizontal into the middle. Let's look at maybe an image. This one as well. You can see it's pretty flat at the bottom. It gets pretty flat. There's not really a big curvature anymore. Looking at another one. This one too, pretty flat, and then just goes right into the center, maybe even upwards again. Looking at the at yours, you can see it still goes downwards and then it goes up at some point. So what I've done is I've just moved it up a little bit. I've kind of removed this this downwards curve and just made it slightly, more horizontal. So the nose a little bit, the nostrils just a little bit, brought them together a little bit and changed the shape down here. For the lips, did I change the lips? I think a little bit. I just made them a little bit smaller. I think they made the upper lip a little bit thinner. It's not maybe necessary, but I thought that that will, make it look a little bit more natural. I changed the thickness of the eyebrows. That could be more, I guess, subjective, but I think overall eyebrows are a little bit thinner than this. I think it's pretty rare to have very, very thick eyebrows. Oftentimes you can see here, this is, I think, pretty a natural thickness, I guess you could say. One thing you need to watch out for is that eyebrows are the widest in the middle of the face, and they get thinner the further out they go. You can see right here, it's the widest here. Then at some point you can see it gets thinner, thinner, and then it goes even thinner. Looking at this one, thick right here, thinner, until it ends. This one has a lot, very, very thin. Let's look at female eyebrows. Let's see if we can find some thick eyebrows. Nope, let's go to, I guess, thick eyebrows. There you go, this one for example. Oh, they're not really that big. These ones here. You can see here, for example, wide, thinner, until it reaches the end, which is completely gone. Same here. This one is the thickest, and then it goes thinner. This one, we can't really see the end. Oh, we can see it here. Even here, I think this is the widest part. So you can, even if you don't want to change the thickness, I guess, you can change the shape. So what I've done here is I've adjusted the thickness, especially up here. I've just kind of lowered everything. I think this one actually it kept the thickness. You could maybe even make it wider or thicker right there. Yeah, overall just the eyebrow shape is more like, it's more like, why? There you go. It's more like this rather than this. So the widest part isn't here, it is somewhere here in the front. That's yeah, what I've done here for the eyebrows. Yeah, I've brought overall the proportions, I've changed a little bit. I've moved the eyes and eyebrows a little bit lower so that the nose bridge is a little bit shorter. Did I do more? I don't think so. Those are the big changes that I've done. Yeah, and then I think I changed the neck a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, I just kind of made it a little bit thinner. Yeah. For the eyes, what I've done is I've changed the eye shape, I guess you could say. I've added new eyes because the current eyes make it look very crazy. We talked about it before. The iris the iris basically is bigger than the opening of the eye. What I mean is that oftentimes the iris, looking at the references here, the iris ends or connects or touches the bottom eyelid. It slightly maybe goes underneath it, and then it gets covered maybe a third, maybe even half by the upper eyelid. You can see it right here. Touches the bottom eyelid, gets covered by the upper eyelid. Here the same, maybe even a little bit underneath the lower eyelid, a lot more though on the upper eyelid. This one even more, upper eyelid completely, or it covers way more than the previous examples. Here it's quite open, the eyes, but you can still see it touches at least touches bottom eyelid and top eyelid. For this one, it barely touches the top eyelid, doesn't touch the lower eyelid at all. So what I've done is I've added new eyelid irises, which look, nope, where are they? There it is. Made them bigger. That's the change that I've done. I made them touch the lower eyelid, made them maybe even too big. We can maybe make them a little bit smaller even, but definitely bigger than what they were before. You can see here, these ones are way too small. Okay. Then I've done some cosmetic changes. Like I've sort of lightened up some areas. I made the eyes a little bit wider just because it looked a little bit better. Everything looked kind of yellowish. What is this? Oh, nothing. Okay. I added some makeup, I guess, just to make it look a little bit, you know, more natural. There you go. So let's go to the 3D model and apply the changes that we've done here. Or yeah, apply those changes to the 3D model as well. There you go. Don't save. Go right here. Nope. I guess this one, maybe. There it is. Okay, is that the one? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, hello. Okay. Let's apply the changes right here too. Let me just quickly sit down, because sitting down is, believe it or not, more comfortable. Okay, let's begin adjusting. So let's do the big adjustments first. First of all, let's go to the head shape. Overall, the jaw is wider than it is right now. So what we'll do is we'll just move it outwards a little bit. There you go. Just to kind of see, now we can actually see the jawbone right there. There you go. Okay. Next up, let's see. Oh, hold on. I want to duplicate it so we have a before and after. What is all this? Who needs this? Nope. Okay. Okay. So let's begin. So we have the jaw, a little bit wider. There you go. Okay. Then we move down the forehead, or the upper part of the head. Maybe even the eyes in general. Move them lower, bring them down a little bit, as well as the eyelids. I mean eyebrows. Just a little bit like this. We need to move down the eyes too. There you go. We're going to change those eyes afterwards. See how it immediately already changed the look. Let's go to the nose. So if I would kind of draw in what the nose tip would look like, including, or I would draw in these two flaps for the tip of the nose, it would probably look something like this. Hold on, there you go. Like this. That's probably where the tip ends. You can see the nostrils go even higher than that. So what I would do is I would move them down a little bit. Maybe to there. I think I made the nose a little bit thinner. Of course, that is maybe a little bit more, what do you call it? I guess subjective. There you go. Let's go to the references real quick. One thing about the nose shape oftentimes is that they, hold on. We had this one is a good okay, that's, I think this one is pretty close to the sculpt. Looking at the nostril shape real quick, I want to see if this, there you go. One thing that is basically that I've at least seen in all the references that I've seen so far is that nostrils are the widest at the bottom. So you can see right here, that's where it ends. Going higher, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Going to another reference, you can see right here, it's the widest at the bottom, and then it goes thinner, 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 the higher you go. Looking at another reference, this one, you can see widest at the bottom, and then it goes thinner, thinner, thinner as you go up. For yours, you can see it's this wide, and then it goes even wider the higher you go. What you can do is just, either make it wider at the bottom, right here, or you can also just move this further into the middle. This way, you change the shape from width to even wider, from width to even wider to the widest, and then thinner, I guess you could say. Okay. One thing that I notice right now is that oftentimes what I've seen is for your sculpts is that the tip of the nose is, or the nose overall is very, very defined. I think the depth that you give your noses, I guess, is very, very strong. You can see right here, for example, the crease right here, all the way around here is very, very strong. I would say the crease that is right here is rather thin. So I think what you can do is you can just kind of overall bring more volume back in this area to even it out a little bit more. I don't think you need that much depth. Especially up here. Oftentimes the nostril sort of merges with the rest of the nose up here. So if you smooth that out a little bit, you can get a more natural looking nose. You can still see the shadows quite obvious, but it's not as defined anymore as it was before. There you go. Another thing, the nose is like a V basically. It's the widest at the like where it connects to the rest of the face, and then it gets thinner, thinner, thinner. So you can probably just gonna bring this in a little bit more, maybe. There you go. Of course, the angle for the nose is debatable. You could probably keep it that way, or you could lower it a little bit right here. What I like to do is I like to put in like a small double edge right here, so that it doesn't just go straight up like this, but it actually has like a small second tip right here. Like this. So you have tip number 1 and then tip number 2. This sort of angle right there. That is, I guess, just personal preference. You don't need to do it, but I like to do it. And then another thing that I like to do, which is probably also preference, is I like to add like this sort of shape to the nose, which sort of highlights the nose structure a little bit more. Looking at, for example, profile. Can we see some profile faces here? Hold on. Female face profile. Let's see. You can see it here, for example. You can see that there's like a small... This one, it's hard to see. But you can see the curve kind of curves inwards before it curves outwards again. It's hard to see, but I think you can sort of see it. Comparing that to the... or this one, you can see it very clearly. You can see what I mean. Curves inwards before it goes up. Moves to the bridge or transitions to the bridge. Which sort of creates this sort of C shape, this inwards curve for the nose. If we then look, for example, especially Indian women, I think oftentimes have that. They have more of an outwards curve to the nose bridge and the nose itself. So if you go to, I guess, Indian, Indian, you can see, let's see. You can see it here, for example. Or this one maybe too. This one is more like an outside curve. The nose sort of transitions right to the bridge without like a small indent, I guess you could call it. Without the tip sort of being separated from the bridge, it sort of immediately goes to the bridge and creates like an outside curve. So if we would compare the two in this, in here, you would have the outside curve that looks like this, or you could have an inside curve that looks more like this. That's before. That's before, and that's after. Probably more personal preference. I prefer this one, but yeah. I think Caucasian nose shapes are more shaped like this. If I would, yeah, from my experience. Okay. Let's go to the eyebrows. Let's change the eyebrows real quick. What we said before is it is the thickest in this area right here in the middle of the face, and it goes thinner the further out it goes. So what we could either do is we can move this up or we can move this down. I think what I want to do here to make this you know, to change it up compared to the Photoshop file is I'm going to move this one up right here. Do it more like this. Maybe we can do then. Let's see. There you go. Just to kind of thin out the eyebrows a little bit. Right there. Okay. I think they're a little bit too high now. Let's move them down. There you go. Okay. Maybe move the eyes just a little bit lower. There you go. Okay. Oh, what I've also done is I've moved this part here of the face a little bit inwards just to kind of highlight the cheekbone just a little bit more. That is maybe more preference, you know, you can make it, you know, move it outwards more so that it looks like there's more fat in the face like this, or you could move it inwards to define or, you know, kind of highlight the cheekbone a little bit more. That is more personal preference, I guess. What that also does, actually, no, let's not say that. I think one thing you can also sort of keep in mind for the cheekbones is to move them just slightly further back. I think they're quite far forward, and moving them back a little bit can help with the overall head shape. The rule for cheekbones is that they come from here, back here. They connect to somewhere over here. Then they go all the way over here. And basically then go straight into the middle. And above the cheekbone is basically where the eye is located. So if you have the eye on this height, the cheekbone wouldn't be somewhere over here. It would actually be pretty close to here. Oh. So we go to here and then we go inwards like this. We can maybe even move all this a little bit further down like this. There you go. So that we have some more room here. Right there. Which we can then use to add a little bit more volume to the fat pad if you wanted to, like this. We can first of all include way more volume than we might want. And then once we have it, we can then just smooth it out a little bit to remove some definition. So if you want it, we can make it very defined, like over here for example. And then just smooth the rest. Or we can smooth everything to make it pretty, you know, pretty smooth overall, but still add volume where it is appropriate. There you go. One thing that is that I kind of noticed is the lip shape looks puckered oftentimes. So it looks kind of like this. Let's see if I can. Okay. Oftentimes for the profile view, a good axis to line your lips on is that the corner of the lips either ends at the the corner of the lips either end where the nose ends, where the nose connects to the rest of the face, or a little bit behind that. Hold on, my headphones just shut down. I need to refuel. Okay. Yeah. That would be for the corner of the lip right here. Then for the distance is actually quite short. Looking at the width coming from the corner right here to the furthest out part. The apex, you can see it here, for example, it's quite short. It doesn't go that far forward. The curve right here is more like a C rather than like an L, I guess you could say. Looking at more profile views here. This one, you can see right here. It's more like a C shape. Doesn't go that far forward. It's not like a slope, more like a C shape. Let's go to the other profile views. Right here. Let's go to this one or this one. Same here. More like a C shape. Here it's quite. I guess the slope is very steep. Let's say. Same here. Sometimes it's even just straight. Here too. So I think you can see here. Maybe this one is more, you know, quite a little bit more like yours, but it's still steeper than yours. So what you can do is you can just move the lips a little bit further back. Or you can also move the nose a little bit further forward, like this. Then you can move the lips a little bit, the lower lips a little bit further forward, like this. And the thing that makes lips look puckered is that basically they're further forward than they not naturally are. What creates that is, first of all, this shape right here. This shape right here. Whether it's too steep, I guess you could say. So if you move these forward, you can see what happens. Zip. What also does that is this shape right here, the side part here. If it's too far forward like this, it kind of looks like it's puckered. So we can move this further back just slightly. Okay, so it looks like a nice curve right here. This curve is more like a box right now. So if you move it down a little bit, it more looks like a nice round shape. One thing we can also do to kind of remove that look, kind of adjust that look, is go look at the lower lip right here. The more distance there is from here to here, so this distance right here, the more it looks like puckered lips. Same, of course, in this area. So one thing we could do is like kissy lips. Yeah, exactly. One thing we could do is we could move the chin forward. There you go. Then, oh, hold on. Then we could fill this up a little bit. Same here. There you go. To make it look less like kissy lips. There you go. Let's I think the biggest thing that is kind of messing me up right now are the eyes. One thing that I noticed right now is maybe we can bring down the forehead a little bit. There you go. Okay. Let's change the eyes and then we're gonna conclude. Okay. Change the eyes in a way that they look more natural. Pretty simple actually. What we'll do is what is that geometry? How did you do that? Did you triangulate everything? What did you do? I can't even change this now. Hold on. Of course they're okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. So if you want to flatten multiple vertices or like a part of a geometry, what you can do is you can select everything. And then what you can do is you can scale. You select the axis that you want to flatten it on. So if you say scale on X and then you say 0, everything gets flattened in that axis. We don't want to flatten it on the X axis though. We want to flatten it on the Y axis, 0. And now everything's perfectly flat. There you go. What I want to do then is I want to bring it back. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. Okay. And then the eyes are just a little bit bigger. Maybe they can even be even bigger than that. So we'll just do that real quick. Okay. There you go. We can apply the same that we said for Zaro, keeping the thickness of the eyelids. you know, maybe that much. That should be good. Just to make it look more natural, you know, because that's how the skin has a certain thickness, and we wanna respect that, okay? There you go. Oh, one thing that I adjusted is the eye shape. Looking at eye examples, how to set up viewport like you have, where you can see front view at bottom. So the way I've changed, so if you want to change your viewport windows, it is basically like frames. You start, what is that? What you can do is you can set up the grid however you want. So what you can do is if you go in between two windows, wait, can I change them? Oh, you can see right here. I can move this because there are two windows down here and one window up here. And then we have one window here, and then I can move this if I want to. If I want to join these two, I can go in between them. I go right click and then I can join them. This way I can say, well, this one is supposed to be this one. There you go. And now I've joined them together. I can do the same with these two. I can say right click join area. I want to move this into there or into here. There you go. And now I only have one frame, I guess, or one window. If I want to split this again into multiple windows, I go in here. I go into one of these frame borders, I guess. I say vertical split or horizontal split. Let's say horizontal. We cut it in half horizontally. There you go. Then we have two windows. Then what I've done is I do it again. I go into the middle here, say vertical split. So I want to vertically split this window right here. So I can have not only a front view, but also an image viewer, which would be this window. If you want to change what you can see in these borders, in these frames, you can go to the top left of that window. You can see it every time right here. This small little window right here, small little icon right there. That is what you can see in that frame. You can see the 3D window, 3D viewport right here. You can see the image editor, which I have selected right now. You could also see the timeline right here. You could see, I don't know, shader. You can, customize it however you want. I like to have a image viewer here and the sculpt as the front view right there. Okay. Yeah. For the eye shape, what I've changed is looking at references. Let me just quickly check if that's true. I don't want to say dumb stuff. Looking at the eye shape, generally speaking, coming from the corner of the eye, the lower eyelid is relatively horizontal and the upper eyelid has a curved shape. So you can see here, relatively horizontal, curved shape, relatively horizontal, curved shape, relatively horizontal, curved shape. Or you could say slightly curved, very like a big curve. So if we would apply that to this here too, what I've done is I've moved the corner of the eye just slightly lower so that this curve is not as big anymore. There you go. And this curve gets bigger. And then it looks like this. So the shape is basically like this. Basically. There you go. And those are changes that you can do to this head. If we want to summarize them again, I think, so let's focus on the main parts. Nostrils, smaller or not as big in terms of height, vertically height. It was like this before. Bring them down a little bit. Then we have the forehead size. You can this distance right here can be lower So bring it down. Okay. The cheek or the jawbone right here, bring it out. Okay. Out. Bring it out. So you can see it. It's just slightly the upper part of the head. This part right here is just slightly wider than this part of the jaw. Okay. Then the lips. Keep in mind the C shape right here. The slope isn't very shallow. It's actually either very steep or it is a C shape like this. Okay. The nostrils are the widest at the bottom, and then like they're like this. That's the nostril shape, like this. Okay. So they are the widest at the bottom, and then they get thinner as the higher they go. And then one more thing. Oh, you can of course, this one can apply to down here too. Okay, down here. One more thing. The eyebrows, the widest here, and then it gets thinner as it goes out. There you go. Okay. There you go. So we've done basically. Can I draw on here? I think it's too small. Can I? That looks kind of scuffed, but I think it's you can still see it. Okay, yeah, those are the big changes. Of course, we changed the eye shape too a little bit, but not too much. One more thing that I want to show you, or that I want to adjust, that because that was so obvious, or so not obvious because that sounds demeaning. So apparent to me, or that immediately jumped into my eyes, is the neck anatomy. Let's look at Roberto. Okay, Roberto. Hold on. Roberto has, though that's his muscle right here. It starts at the back of his head. That's where the neck muscle connects to. Then you can see it goes down, and then it. Hold on, the light is kind of annoying too. Let's see if I can use my phone. Okay. It's too bright. You can see how it moves down, and then it moves forward. So there, it basically covers this entire area. Here's where the shoulder joint is, and it even goes in front of that shoulder joint. So it basically joins with the shoulder. It creates one line that then goes to the back of the head. You can even see this line right here. So if you would translate that to your sculpt, I'm going to show you what the difference is between Roberto and your sculpt. The neck anatomy comes from here. Attachment, zip, goes to the front, and then, oh no, it does this. It just ends. What happens though is it goes down here to the collarbone, connects to the collarbone. So you need volume right here. This void needs to be filled. I'm going to show you how. So you can have a pretty clear line here where the muscle is going to the back right here. There you go. And then you fill this area. If you have a clear collarbone, it's easier. So if we have one right here, it would look like this. The collarbone is curved, so it looks like this. Okay. And then we can fill this up with volume. Right here. Thank you. Hold on, I can't see the name, it's too small. I think it said Anthony, maybe not, probably not. Let's see if Streamlabs is up to date. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. If you're here live, hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There it is. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Wait, did I log into the wrong account last time? Oh no. Okay, wait. I might have solved the problem. There it is. Anthony, easy. I saw it correctly. Anthony, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Welcome. If you're here live, hope you enjoyed the stream. So, continuing this, the neck muscle is going all the way to the collarbone. Right here. What is that? Oh no. Well, well, yeah, you need to ignore this hole, okay? It looks like this. Then we have the neck muscles right here. Going to the middle here. This part here is just filled by other muscles too. So it has a certain thickness here. Then we have another muscle that goes away from this muscle right here. So in the end, it looks kind of like this. There you go. Might be still a little bit scuffed, but I think that's a good beginning. There you go. We can maybe fill this a little bit. There you go. Okay. So the main takeaway here. Woo! This is not a hole. This is filled by muscle because it connects to the collarbone. There you go. Okay. There you go. Let's go to the before and after. Now comes the fun part. Let's set up a camera real quick. Okay. This one will be... Okay. So that's before. I mean, that's after. Let's look at before. Da-da-da. That's after. I mean, before, after, before, after, before, after, before. Da-da-da-da. So let's go over the changes real quick again, just to summarize. First of all, head shape. Bring it closer together. Okay. Eyes. Bring them, lower them, so that the bridge, the nose bridge is shorter. Next up, we have the nostrils. The nostrils are not higher, or they don't go higher than the tip of the nose. They optimally stay underneath that. So what I mean is the tip is right here, but the nose ends somewhere over here. See how it's lower than the tip? That's one thing. Then we have the eye shape. The lower eyelid is a very slight curve. Upper eyelid is a very strong curve. The cheekbone, I mean the jaw bones are wider than in your original. You could see you can't really see the jaw bones. In the new one, you could see them right here. They're just slightly less wide than the head up here, the upper head. See, we didn't really change the width up here. We changed it down here, made it wider just slightly. What we've also changed is the lip shape. If you look at the lip shape, you could see sort of kissy lips, and we brought them back a little bit. We changed this shape basically from a big slope to a smaller C, basically. So looks more like this right now. And then now it looks more natural. We didn't only do that up here, we also did it down here. We brought the chin a little bit forward, which is maybe more subjective. Some people don't really have a chin, I guess you could say. It's more vertical, but we brought it forward a little bit. And which gave us more space here, which made it less puckered, I guess you could say. We also slightly, if you want, that is more subjective, changed the nose shape from more like a, I guess, Indian nose, you could say, to more of a Caucasian nose. So we have a more defined tip, which then goes into an inwards curve to the bridge and then to the end of the nose. This one is more like an outwards curve that then goes to the bridge and then to the end of the nose. See, inwards, outwards, inwards, outwards. We also moved the cheekbone further back. The cheekbones, in terms of horizontal positioning compared to the eyes, when you look at the profile view, they are just slightly further forward than the eyeball. So the cheekbone would end somewhere over here. Right here, it ends somewhere here in the front. This way we have a little bit more space where we can place this fat pad right here, which is very important, like one of the most prevalent and you know, yeah, one of the most prevalent or prominent fat pads in the face right here. You don't really have that much space right here. So we moved the cheekbone just further back so we can place the fat pad right there. And then of course we changed the iris. The iris very, very small right there. And I think overall just moving the iris inwards makes it look more natural than moving them outwards. Iris, of course, at least touching the lower eyelid, and gets covered by the upper eyelid right there. Okay. Yep, and then that is the sculpt. Oh, and then of course here the neck. Vortex or void and volume. Okay? It goes to the collarbone from back here. Yep. And that concludes the face. Let's save that real quick and then we can go to number 4. Wait, where am I? Wrong folder. Okay. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is by Passion, aka Manika. So I think they, let's say they, also posted an object OBJ file. Let's look into it. I don't know what it looks like. Very mysterious. Hold on. Let's import it. There you go. Oh, there's one more. Hold on. We actually have 2 more. Okay. No, that means we not have Passion first. We have double W first. Which is an image. Let's go to that first. Okay. There it is. Okay. He posted a question. His question was... Hold on. There it is. Hold on. Okay. So he asked the question. The question was, what are the most visible anatomy mistakes you can notice here? Except ears and eyes. They're disgusting. Okay. Let's answer that question real quick. Or let's answer the question. Okay. So not the ears, not the eyes. I mean, overall, I think the eyes aren't too bad. I think the eyes have quite a decent thickness. Maybe they're a little bit too thick. The eyelids, I mean. Let's go to... Yeah, let's cover the most obvious, I guess, changes that you can make. Oh, hold on. I still have my flashlight